Dear students, warm welcome to our Blackboard Education channel. In previous session, we have discussed about the types of changes. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss about 10th class Physical Science, Chapter 2, Chemical Equations, Part 2. As chemical equations and how to write chemical equations. Let us recall at once the types of chemical changes. You know that there are two types of chemical changes. One is physical change, another one is chemical change. What is physical change? A change occurs only in physical properties such as size, state of matter or color is said to be physical change. It's a temporary change. At once the conditions reversed, we will get the same substance again. We have seen some examples for that. One is solid ice, that is nothing but solid water is ice. When ice is heated, it melts and it gives us liquid water. When this water is freezed, again we will get solid water, that is ice. Here melting is a process requires energy. For freezing, its process releases energy. One more example also we have discussed, that is about copper sulfate. We know the copper sulfate is in blue in color. When it is heated, it turns to white. When the water is added to that, again it regains its original color, that is blue. Here while heating, the blue color copper sulfate lose their water molecule so that it turn into white. While adding water molecule, again it get blue in color. So here only the change occurs in its color. So this is also one of the example for physical change. The other type of change, that is chemical change, that is if new substances are formed with properties completely unlike to those of the original substances, we say that the chemical change has taken place. In previous session, we did different activities to show that the substances undergo chemical changes. But that whole activity to explain as it is somewhat difficult. If we write that whole chemical reaction by representing it using their symbols and formulae in simplest form, that is called chemical equation. Now let us say what is chemical equation, how to write it, and what the information that chemical equation gives us. For example, at the time of Diwali, we used to burn the crackers. One example, magnesium wire is there. When magnesium wire is burned, means it is reacting with oxygen, it gives us ash, that is nothing but magnesium oxide. So here that whole reaction can be represented by simplest way using the symbols and formulae of the substance which are taking part in chemical reaction and the new product which is formed. Here magnesium symbol is Mg, oxygen O2, and magnesium oxide formula MgO. So we can write that whole chemical reaction in simplest way as 2Mg plus O2 give rise to 2MgO. That means our representation of chemical reaction in simplest form by using symbols and formulae of reactants and products is said to be a chemical equation. Here, the substance which undergo chemical change in the reaction are called reactants, and the new substance formed are called products. A chemical equation shows the change of reactants and products by an arrow placed between them. The reactants are written on the left side of the arrow, and the final substances that are products are written on the right side of the arrow. The arrowhead point faces the product, showing the direction of the reaction. If there is more than one reactant or product involved in the reaction, they are indicated with a plus sign between them. Now let us see how to write chemical equation by using those points. Writing chemical equation. Let us recall once again that activity what we did in previously. In first activity, we have taken a beaker and we took some water in it, and taking quicklime, that is calcium oxide, when it is put it in water, it is completely dissolved in it, and a new solution formed, that is calcium hydroxide. When it is tested with red litmus, it turned into blue. Here, calcium oxide reacted with water to give calcium hydroxide. This is the chemical reaction here. So, we have to represent it with using symbols and formula in simplest form. Calcium oxide formula CaO, water H2O, and calcium hydroxide CaOH twice. So here calcium oxide and water, both of them are reactants, and calcium hydroxide is a product. So we have to separate both reactants and products by using arrow mark. So here we have kept in between calcium oxide, water, and calcium hydroxide that arrow mark. So here this arrow mark shows that calcium hydroxide is a product. So in this way, CaO plus H2O give rise to CaOH twice is the chemical equation for the above chemical reaction. Let us see another activity. In another activity, we have taken 2 test tubes and we prepared barium chloride and sodium sulfate, means taking a few quantity of barium chloride and added into the water, we got colorless solution. And in the same way, we have prepared sodium sulfate, adding sodium sulfate to the water, we got sodium sulfate solution. We know that both of them were colorless. When both were added, we got a white color precipitate, that is barium sulfate, and above of the white color precipitate there are sodium chloride, colorless solution formed there. Means here sodium sulfate reacts with barium chloride to give white precipitate, that is barium sulfate and sodium chloride. Here sodium sulfate formula Na2SO4, barium chloride formula BaCl2. These both of them are reactants. And here barium sulfate BaSO4 and sodium chloride formula NaCl. These both of them are products. So we have to write like this: Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 give rise to BaSO4 plus NaCl, where Na2SO4, barium chloride, both of them were reactants, so we have written left to the arrow mark, barium sulfate BaSO4, sodium chloride NaCl, we have written right to the arrow mark, showing that those are products. Let us discuss one more chemical reaction. Take a test tube and put some zinc granules into that. Add hydrochloric acid. We know that when zinc that hydrochloric acid add to zinc, immediately gas is produced. When that is tested with the glowing splitter, it put off by making pop sound. Means here zinc metal react with the dilute hydrochloric acid to yield zinc chloride, and here hydrogen gas is liberated, because a gas which is put off a glowing splinter making pop sound is nothing but hydrogen gas. This is one of the tests to identify whether the gas is hydrogen or not. So here zinc and hydrochloric acid, both of them are reactants, and zinc chloride and hydrogen gas, they are products. So zinc formula Zn, hydrochloric acid formula HCl, and zinc chloride formula ZnCl2 and hydrogen H2. So here the equation can be written as Zn plus HCl give rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. In next session, we are going to discuss about balancing chemical equations. I hope all of you understand how to write a whole chemical reaction in simplest way by using their symbols and formulae, that is chemical equation. Try to write some more chemical reaction in the form of equations. Thank you. Have a nice day.